Star Wars Battlefront released 10 years ago today. On November 17th, 2015, the best-selling Star Wars game by quite some margin came out, and it changed so many of our lives. For the past 10 years, I've thought about and lived Battlefront pretty much every single day. There is so much to talk about, so much I want to say, and in this video I'm just going to go over just some of the things that come to mind immediately. It was a special time because this game wasn't just a game, it was an experience, a time in life that we sadly won't be able to relive. This was the most anticipated Star Wars game of all time, and probably will be forever. I don't think there will be another game that reached this level of hype, alongside the film The Force Awakens. There had not been a Battlefront game in 10 years, and a Star Wars film, a non-animated one at least, in 10 years as well, and those releasing a month apart just brought so much joy and excitement among Star Wars fans. Behind the LEGO games, Battlefront was the biggest franchise in Star Wars gaming before DICE released this game. Once this game came out on November 17th, it quickly became the best-selling Star Wars game of all time. It still holds that record to this day. It achieved over 20 million copies sold, a feat that very few games have achieved. Whilst the general audience was not too pleased with this game, the direction of the game, the content it had, more of the lack of content, and the choices DICE made, you have to admit what they came up with in a short time frame, around 18 months, is quite impressive. The level of quality and detail and fun just could not be brought out in a game made by a AAA developer in that time span in the last few years. Games are taking several years to a decade to even release, and we are seeing that with other Star Wars games, but not this game. DICE delivered a game that, for some of us, this dedicated community that absolutely adored the game, changed their lives for the better. For example, I met some of my best friends for life from playing this game. We all enjoyed playing the game and creating content around the game, talking about the game, and we just somehow came together in a Twitter group chat in 2016, early 2016, something like that. I can't quite remember the date. And as time went on, more people came, and it was just so much fun to have a group of friends that all had a lot in common. This group reached all across the globe. It wasn't just in one area, and we've managed to become friends in real life as well, because some of us do live in the same country, in England, but others have also flown over to here and other places to meet up, and I've met most of that group, and wow, it was so much fun looking back at the early beginnings of Battlefront when we were creating content, all kinds of different content. Something that I think the Battlefront community in 2015 and 2016 did that other Star Wars games and communities just don't do is the creativity. There was so much creativity in the content creation space and on social media. The uniqueness of videos and ideas and collaboration. There was also so much fun and memes that would happen online as well. I just don't see that. I didn't see that for Battlefront 2. The community definitely downgraded a lot once Battlefront 2 came out, and it's been not the same since Battlefront 2 came out. During the released time frame and the DLC and all of that sort of stuff for Battlefront 2015, it was just an incredible year or so. I wish I could go back because I have a lot of fond memories. It's been 10 years since then, and it still feels like that 1 year was way longer because we got so much content. We got 4 big expansions plus a few free updates with content and more. I got invited to my first ever event to check out content early for a game. EA invited me to the Bespin DLC event. Unfortunately, the event fell just a day after my mum's funeral, so I wasn't able to go because it was a trip to LA and I wouldn't have been able to get there in time. I was honestly devastated because I put so much love into making my videos and I was so passionate about the game, and I finally achieved something that I felt was amazing, to be recognised by EA for the content I created, and I was able to deliver early content for you guys, and I couldn't. I wasn't able to go. And I thought that was going to be the last opportunity. I thought I was never going to be able to get the opportunity to check out early Battlefront content ever again. And I didn't get invited to the Death Star event, so I thought, that's it. I've missed out. Thankfully, though, I did get invited to check out the Scarif DLC with a bunch of journalists. It wasn't the main creator event, so I didn't get to see people that I had spoken to online and created videos alongside. But it was a start, and I got to take a very long train journey to the EA UK office. It was very expensive. It cost nearly £200 for me to go. They didn't pay for my travel back then. So I had to spend a lot of money, and I didn't have a job at the time. Well, actually I did. I started my first job a week before this DLC came out. I asked for some time off so I could take this day off to go down to the EA UK offices, play the Scarif DLC, and then in the following day I went to work, and then after work I spent all night editing these Scarif videos ready for the embargo, and that was just a small taste of what was to come for in the future. I was so excited. I could not believe what had just happened to me. I genuinely thought this was the best thing ever to happen to me. And then the rest is history. I became a game changer and got to play Battlefront 2 before the game had even been officially revealed. I got to go to DICE and playtest the game with just a few other people, play the game in a very, very early state and share a lot of feedback. And to think that Battlefront 2 came out 8 years ago today as well is honestly hard to believe, because the game's life cycle post-launch only lasted like 2 and a bit years. And yet, here we are 8 years later, still playing the game. Khyber is coming. The community is still strong. We had the resurgence earlier this year. And we still have not had a multiplayer Star Wars game outside of Hunter's release. And yet, Battlefront 2 is a massive success, despite what some people on the internet think. Another first for me with Battlefront 2015 is it was the first game I got early. EA actually sent me a physical copy, a physical disc copy of the game for release date, because EA was still releasing games the old way, where games would release on Tuesdays in the US and then on Thursdays and Fridays in Europe. So I would have had to wait till Friday to play Battlefront 2015. But because it came out on Tuesday in America, EA actually sent me a promotional copy of the game ahead of release, and that was the first thing I ever got from a publisher, and I'm forever grateful that EA UK did that for me, because it allowed me to jump straight into the game and start making videos, which I've done for a long time. And it wasn't just, I didn't just start with the release of the game. I covered the game extensively from when it was announced all the way back in 2013 when EA got the exclusivity license. I made a video talking about how DICE was set to make a new Battlefront game. There was barely any news for 2 years. There was a couple bits here and there. There was that trailer in 2014, and I covered that, but there wasn't too much. I was busy covering other games. Titanfall was the main game on the channel at the time that I was really focusing on. I was looking forward to 2015 because I knew that was going to be the game I pivot to and really focus on, and that was going to be my priority in making content. But I also did make Battlefront videos all the way back in 2012 before there was even going to be a revival by DICE. I loved the game growing up as a kid, so I decided to upload a bunch of videos on it in 2011, 2012, just live commentaries of me playing the PS2 version of Battlefront 2, and also the original Battlefront that came out in 2004. So I've been making Battlefront videos for like 13, 14 years now, which is more than half of my life. So yeah, there aren't that many people still around that were making Battlefront videos in 2012, 2013. I also want to share a few more inside details on the crazy things I did to make videos for Battlefront 2015, such as spending £200 on a train journey. So back in the day, what I was known for in the community was how quick I was at getting news out. So whenever there was some news in relation to Battlefront 2015, both before launch and after, I would have a video out pretty quickly. The reason being, I was at college at this time, so I was only in college like 2.5 days a week, and the rest of the time I was at home. I did video game development at college, so I was working on the computer, and whenever there was news around sort of 4 or 5 p.m, that's typically when news would drop, I would be done with my college work for the day and be able to make a video like immediately and get a video out straight away. The videos were very simple. It was literally just some gameplay or a trailer in the background and me explaining to you the news in 2-3 minutes, which was a lot less time than what much larger channels were doing at the time. So a lot of people appreciated that. So this led me to having to do things which people would think is a crazy idea. So one time when there was a reveal of a new game mode announced for the next day and new screenshot, I think it was, I was on a train coming back from London. It was an empty carriage, pretty much, and I was like, okay, well, I need to get this video out. I'm not going to be home until later in the night. This is just not going to work very well, and I had my iPad with me at the time. So I started editing the video on my iPad, and I attempted to try and record the video. I attempted to record the voiceover. Unfortunately, that was not good. The sound quality was terrible. There was no noise cancelling microphones on the iPad 2 all the way back in the day, and the sounds of the train just made it completely inaudible. But I basically pre-edited the video, made the thumbnail, did all of that on my iPad. It took the entire journey home, and then I basically recorded the audio really quick as soon as I got home and then uploaded it. Just a quick note, when I was digging through the archives for this video to get footage and stuff, I actually discovered a live stream I did, my first ever IRL live stream in London from the day that I was on about how I had to record the video on the train, and I mentioned that the news is coming out and how I'm going to have to record the video. Here's a quick clip of that. This has probably never been seen since this day, so here you go. Here's an exclusive. A video on the train?
Yeah, actually.
I am. The reason being, there's some Star Wars Battlefront news, and I'm going to have to make a video whilst on the train using my iPad, render it and edit it and upload it and everything. There was also another time when I was going back to college. I'd already been home and I was going back because me and my friends at college were making a game. We was making this game outside of college hours. It was unrelated to college, and we were just using our skills that we were learning in the time we was there to make a game outside of it. And we had these meetings, so I had to get the bus, and it would take like 45 minutes, something like that. And on the way to this meeting that I was going to have about the game we was making, they dropped a bunch of the renders for the heroes, so Princess Leia, Emperor Palpatine, Han Solo, Luke, Boba as well. So I was again pre-editing this on my phone and writing a script and all this. It honestly annoyed me so much that I was on the way to college. I'd have the meeting for like an hour or so and then have to come all the way back. So I wasn't going to get home until something like maybe 9 o'clock at night, and yeah, this was going to be a 2-3 hour gap between the news coming out and me being able to actually upload the video. So I was so annoyed by that. But yeah, I did that sort of stuff. I was so dedicated to getting the news out, telling my audience, even though it was very, very small. At this time, I only had maybe like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. But yeah, I really did care about this game before I'd even played it. From Lando's Power Blast glitch, which ruined the game for a long time over Christmas in 2016, to the amazing and incredible competitive maps and extraction with the Outer DLC, to all the Easter eggs that we could find on the various maps, the free content update drops, to the glitches that would frustrate us and the stream snipers, to the E4 which ruined the meta, and the jump packs and the back to bomb, which unfortunately just the game never recovered from, even with nerfs. I still had a blast. The DL-18, second favourite ever weapon in all of Battlefront, behind the NT-242 in Battlefront 2. The DL-18 in this game, truly a magical weapon that is underrated in my opinion. Not enough people love it. Everyone was sweating it out with the E4, and still are. I'm a DL-18 person. I'd love to hear your thoughts and memories of this game. Let me know down in the comment section below. Were you around during 2015 watching my videos? I'd like to see some familiar names, or remind me if you may have changed your username since then. What a wonderful time it was. 2013, 2014, and mostly 2015 and 2016. We had a new Star Wars film. We had a new Battlefront game. We had a year of fantastic DLC. We had Rogue One come out in 2016. I wish I could relive that time. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. And drop a like if you enjoyed this video. For more Star Wars Battlefront videos, be sure to subscribe because Kyber is coming for Battlefront 2. If you missed any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. Goodbye.